Welcome back to part 2 of this 2-part Minecraft tutorial. Let's continue from where we left off in the last video. To begin, we're going to start by installing our dispensers and sticky pistons. So we're going to start with the top layer, coming up to where our lever is. We're going to leave a block, destroy one, leave a block, destroy one, and we're going to continue this, going all the way across until we have just one block between the last destroyed space and the water elevator. And then we're going to fill this in with dispensers, like so. And that is our top part done. We'll wire it all up in a moment, but we'll come to the bottom here, and we're just going to break out a couple blocks just so we can actually get inside our building and replace them. And underneath all of these gaps, we're going to place 2 blocks of cyan wool going backwards, like so. And once you've got that, we can come round to the front, and if we look at the corner here, we'll be able to place our dispensers facing outwards. And this is where the water buckets are going to go that will try and push the dolphins off of the course. And now finally, for the sticky pistons, we're going to come up here, and we're going to go up by 3, and then another 4th block, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to place a block to the right of this, and then we're going to skip 2 blocks to the left, place a block, and we're going to repeat this until we get to the other side. So we skip 2, place 1, skip 2, place 1, skip 2, place 1, and then once we've got 3 blocks here, that's when we know we're done. And now to actually get the pistons in, we're going to come around to the front of here, and it's a bit tricky, but if we line ourselves up correctly, we can place it so that the wooden part is right up against the wall. So if you just place it right on the corner like so, we end up with our pistons facing the correct direction. And now finally, we also want to create an outline of blocks around our dispenser so that from the outside you can't actually see all the wiring. And there we go. So that is our basis for all of our traps. But before we start any wiring, we're just going to get one more step done real quickly, and that's actually installing all of the fences for our gravel path. So to do that, we simply want to come to the front here and just do an outline around all of the gravel. Now there is one part over there where that doesn't actually follow the rules, but for now we're just going to come all the way around, just doing it on the grass blocks that are directly next to the gravel path. Now the only place where this differs is on this corner here. We're instead going to come into the gravel and then out one, and then we're going to repeat that again, and then it just continues as normal, coming all the way around. Now at this point, we're actually going to install ourselves a sticky piston 2 blocks underneath the ground, because that's what lets us control whether the dolphins can actually enter the obstacle course. So we're going to break 2 blocks, and then we're going to place a sticky piston, and then we're going to grab our fences again and just keep going round, making sure it's at the same height as all the others. And then to finish it off, we're going to take our red wool and our black wool to actually create the archway for our minigame. So we're going to come to either side of these fences, and we're going to build up 4 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Then we're going to do a row on top of it, but actually having it come out 1 further block on either side. Then we're going to come to the middle where our gravel is, and we're going to place 2 further blocks on top, and then we're going to place another block where our 2 columns are, and then we're going to repeat what we did below, making sure to come out another block from the end this time, so it slowly gets wider. And then finally we're going to top it off with a row of black wool, once again coming out 1 on either side. And that creates our entrance to the whole thing. So with that done, we can finally start setting up the wiring to actually get this minigame working. So for this next part, I'm going to do my best to explain how to actually connect up all of the components of this machine. Now if you want to do it yourself at home, I'll quickly lay out all of the connections that need to happen. So first, we need to have this lever up here connect to a sticky piston that we're going to put inside this chair. So if we remove this piece of red wool, and then this white, and then we place a sticky piston here, and then the red wool in front of it. That leaves our gap for them to fall down, and we'll eventually power that up. So you want to have this lever connected to that sticky piston. Then here, you want to have the green wool connect up to the dispensers on the bottom layer. The purple wool connect up to the sticky pistons on the second layer. And the yellow wool connect up to the dispensers on the third layer. And then finally, you want to have this lever at the back connected to that sticky piston with a fairly decent delay on it. So you're going to use lots of repeaters for that. So I'm going to do my best to show you my method of going about this. So let's get to it. So we're going to start by getting rid of this block here, and we're just going to fall down into our base here. Now coming to the front, we're going to break out these blocks so that we can actually reveal where our coloured wool is. And we're going to do the same back here for our lever, which is underneath this redstone block here. But in order to actually be able to bring our connection down properly, we're going to need to replace this block directly underneath the lever with a stone brick slab. So with that all in place, we can actually begin our wiring. So we're going to start by bringing these 3 blocks coming all the way down to the middle over there. So we'll start with the rightmost one with the yellow wool. So we're going to place a block underneath it, and then we're just going to simply snake it down, coming down like so, until we reach the floor. And we're going to repeat that for all of our different blocks. So we bring it all the way down like this and have it snake into the middle. Then we're going to do the exact same thing on the left hand side with the dark green wool. So have it come all the way down, just coming down diagonally so we can actually do our redstone on top of it. Like so. And if you've done it the same as the other side, it should end up being in line with this. Now for our middle one, to stop our wires from being muddled up, we're going to have to use some redstone torches in order to actually get the signal down. So to do that, we can place our block here, place a redstone torch on it, and then place a block 2 below it, and we'll install all the redstone in a bit. And then we'll place another redstone torch coming off of it like so, and then we can actually begin to snake this around. Coming down like so, so that it actually meets up in the middle, like we've done before. There we are. And then finally, for our red here, we're going to bring down some red wool, and make sure that it snakes to the right where our slab is, because redstone wire is actually able to go through slabs. And then we're just going to bring that down as well, and we're going to take this to the right. Coming down like so, just making sure that it doesn't cross any wires with our other lines. And I think it's best to use the correct coloured wool so you don't get the different lines modelled up whilst you're doing it. And then finally, if we break out this block here, we reveal our sticky piston. Then we're going to break the block behind it quickly, so that we can place a pink wool underneath with a redstone torch on top, so at the start it is extended, and then only when you flip the lever will it actually fall down. And then we're going to bring this down as well, but this one we're going to snake down to the right. Coming down like so, making sure not to cross up with the yellow path. And with that done, we've now got all of our wires connecting to the middle. So, let's dig a big hole to actually get our wires from this point all the way over. So I think the best way to do this is we're going to dig out a 7 block wide hole to give space for our 5 different wires, like so. Then we're going to simply dig this out, coming all the way down. We'll start stepping down like this because we want to make sure that we avoid the chamber here where the shark will fall down. So we start breaking this out. Now I think we're going to have to do this 1 block back because otherwise we're not going to be able to get our redstone down properly. So we're going to bring this back. And the reason we want it to be 7 blocks wide is so that there's a block of space in between each line of redstone to stop them from connecting up and messing with each other. So if we keep bringing it down like this will take a while, so I think I will speed this up a bit as I just break out a hole until we reach the other side. So just watch closely and see exactly what I do, and do your best to copy it, but don't worry about being too exact. Now once that you've dug it out enough that you actually start to see the blue wool, we're just going to come down a couple more steps, because if we break into this, then that's going to bring the water from the pool in, and that's just going to absolutely mess with all of our redstone. And now that we can see stone above us again, we can start to step up so that we can actually reach inside of our minigame. So we're just going to start stepping up like this. You'll see dirt, and that tells us that we're getting along the right lines to actually end up inside the other building. Now that we've reached the inside of the other building, we're going to come back, and for my sake, I'm going to create 5 different paths of wool so that I don't get them muddled up. Now, of course, you can just place the redstone along the floor, so this step is entirely unnecessary, but it just helps with the organization. So my original plan for this part was just to do a time lapse to try and explain everything, but I thought it would be easier if I just showed you what I'd done. So all I've done in this main area is connect up all 5 lines with a separate path going down here. So you can see that we've got all of them connecting up, making sure that none of them cross each other, because otherwise that's going to lead to some mixed up wires. And then down here, I've just extended all of the blocks out. I did have to destroy 1 more block on either side to fit in all the paths, because you have to make sure that they're separated by at least 1 block. Now, the only one that I didn't extend the entire way was the red line, and that's because that goes to the starting piston. So I'll show you how to do that quickly right now. So all you got to do is you want to extend it up until the blue part, and then we're just going to dig to the left until the blue part ends, like so, and then we're going to go to the right, and if we keep going and we just go a little bit up, we will see our piston. And underneath here we're going to place a block with a redstone torch underneath of it, and we'll connect that up later. But on this side, let me show you quickly how to actually connect up each of the traps. So for the dispensers at the bottom, this is going to be our green line. So to do that, we're just going to place blocks in between them and on top of them, like so. And then we can run a trail of redstone on top of it. Now for the pistons, pretty much the exact same thing, but with the purple line. I'm going to put a block on top of each one and then run it in between them as well. And then we're going to place redstone dust on top of it. And then finally for the dispensers at the top, we're just going to simply do a line of yellow wool going all the way across like this. And then that will connect them all up by placing a line of redstone dust on top. Now to actually connect each of these to the bottom lines, we're going to start with the green wool, and we're just going to bring it up, snake it up to the right, and then bring it across like so that it connects up. Now for the purple, we're going to have to go a bit higher, so we're going to go all the way to the back of the wall, snake it up, and then we start doing a bit of a spiral, coming up like so, until eventually we can just extend it out like this until it lines up with our redstone dust there. And then finally for the yellow wool, this is going to be the highest one of them all, so we're going to bring it up like this, making sure not to let it intermingle with the other redstone line, bringing it all the way up until we eventually get to the right height such that we can actually connect it to our system. So there we are. And then for the pink line, we're going to start at the top here, which this should be the 4th block down from the top left, and that is where our lever on the outside is. So we're going to bring this down diagonally until we reach the bottom, where we can then connect it to our pink line, like so. Now I'll quickly show you how to connect up everything on the other side, and then we're just going to cover all of these blocks in redstone dust with a few repeaters scattered every 15 blocks to make sure that the signal doesn't run out. So for the purple line, we're going to bring our redstone dust going down, but in order to stop it from connecting to the others, we're going to put a redstone torch here, put this, and then a redstone torch on the other side, and then we're just going to continue that on. Now for the other paths, it's much simpler. We're just going to simply run redstone all the way down like so, making sure that none of them connect up with any of the other paths. Here we are. And the same goes for all the other sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to speed up this next section of me just placing redstone dust everywhere, making sure to put our repeaters in to actually prevent the signal from running out. And once again, they need to be every 15 blocks to stop it from losing its signal. So let's get into it. So now that you've done that, you should end up with a system that looks something like this. Now don't worry about it being exactly like what I've done here. As long as all of your lines connect up to the proper places, then you should have yourselves a working minigame. So I'll quickly show you what I've done down here. So with the red line, because it goes to the starting line, I've added in a bunch of repeaters to add a bit of a delay so that the shark actually has enough time to get to his seat before they start the race. And on the other side here, it's fairly self-explanatory. You've just got all of the lines leading up to the different traps, making sure that with the pink line, all of the repeaters are facing the opposite direction so that the signal actually travels the right way. And with our pink line, we also need to make sure that the redstone dust that goes into the block here is a long one like this. If it's going to the left or it's just a dot, it won't actually activate the redstone torch here. So with that all done, now we can actually test our minigame to see if it's worked. So what we need to do is we need to fill these dispensers down here with water buckets. So let me do that quickly. We grab ourselves 3 water buckets, we can place them in, like so. Here we are. And for the top dispensers, we just need to fill them all with a stack of arrows like so. You can fill them all the way up, but as of right now, we just need a stack just to test it. So the first thing we want to test is if we flick this lever here, you should see that the seat underneath the shark will get retracted and that will drop him down. And then if we unflick it, it should go back into place. Now if we actually sit ourselves here, we can start by clicking the green button, and that will make all the water flow out. If we click the purple button, we'll see the pistons extend on the second layer. And if we click the yellow button, we'll see all of the arrows fire out of the dispensers. And then finally, if we flick this lever here, we should see that after a short delay, that fence there will go down. And just like that, we've got ourselves a fully working minigame. Now if you'd like, you can stop the tutorial here, but the last few things I'm going to show you are where to put all the torches, and then how to build all the scenery for the minigame, such as the blossom trees and the little pond that goes over there. So you're more than welcome to end it here, but if you'd just like to make it look a little bit prettier, then let's get to it. So to begin with, we're going to start by getting all of our torches in the proper place. So if we come to our entrance, the first 2 are going to be on either of these fence poles here. Then in the top right and the top left of our entrance archway, we're going to place a torch on either side, so on the back and on the front. And we're going to do that on both sides. Then for our fences, we're going to essentially just end up placing them on the corners a lot. So you don't need to be too exact with this, but we're just going to place them and dot them around like this, making sure just to place them intermittently on each corners. Here we are, like so, just so we can actually give a bit of light to our build, especially when it gets to night time. There we are. For our obstacle course, we're going to place them on the sides where the rows of blue wool are. So there'll be 3 on this side, and then 4 on this side, going down like this. And then we're also going to place ones on the middle, so it should be just in between these 2 dispensers here, like so. Then for our dojo, on these corner parts where we've got the little lips coming up from the roof, we're going to place a torch on either side of the stone brick, like so. Coming all the way around, and we're going to repeat that for the second layer as well. Like this, making sure to get every single corner. Then on the chair at the top, we're going to place a torch in the middle at the back here. And then on the inside, the parts that aren't covered by the fences on our columns, we're going to place torches. And then finally, there's just 1 torch on our obstacle course up and to the left of this single sand block. I'm not sure why there's 1 there, but that is just where it is in the build. Now, let's get all of our blossom trees in place. The first tree, we're going to come to our entrance, and starting here we're going to count 5 blocks across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to skip 1 block and place our oak log here. Then we're going to build this up by another 2, and then we're going to do a 3x3 square of pink wool on top of it, like so. Then we're going to do a plus sign in the middle, so we leave the corners out, and then finally 1 more piece on the top like that. And then we're going to cover the top oak block with torches on every single side. Now for the next bit, I'm going to show you where the bottom of each tree goes, and then I'll leave it up to you to actually build them up into the proper blossom trees. So the next one, we're going to come to this fence here and count across 4 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to skip a block again and place our oak log here. And then turning around, at this point here, where there's fences surrounding this grass block on all sides, we're going to place 1. Then here, we're going to count across 3 blocks, and then a further 2 back, and right in the middle here, we're going to place another 1. Then, if we turn around, and we come to this block here, we're going to count 4 back, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th block, we're going to place another tree. Then coming to the left, we're going to go to the second fence in from the left, and we're going to count up 2, and on the 3rd block we're going to place another tree. Then to the left of us, on this corner here, we're going to place another 1. And then at this corner, we're going to count back 3, and on the 4th one we're going to place 1. Then coming here to this fence in the corner, we're going to count this block, another, and then another, and on the 4th one we're going to place a tree. And then coming to the corner here, we're going to place ourselves 2 different trees. So the first one, if we come out from the dojo, we're going to count 6 in this direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to place 1 here. And then on the second block from the dojo, and up to, we're going to place another tree here. And then coming round to the back of the dojo, on this second column here, we're going to go 1 to the right and count out 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the 5th block we're going to place a tree. And then for our final one, we're going to come in 1 from the left of this side of the dojo, and we're going to count out 3. 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th block we're going to have our final blossom tree. So now I want you to build them all up so they're identical to that one over there. Now for the first of our final few steps, we're going to get the pond installed here. So if we come to this block here, where it first comes down, we're going to count up 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here, we're going to break out 4 blocks going to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to break out the ones above it, but also going 1 more out to the left. Then we're going to go further out to the left on either sides and break out a 3 high area, like so. And then up here, we're going to break out another 5 blocks, coming 1 in from the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to break the further 4 above it, but missing out this one on the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that gives us the shape of our pond. So we're going to quickly fill that all in with water, like so, until it becomes solid water blocks on every single side. Then we're going to surround it with sugarcane. So on the left, we're going to do these 3 blocks here, and then 2 up. Then here, we're going to do these 2, and the 1 up here. Then we're going to do this one here, and this one at the bottom here. Then with our lily pads, we're going to come in 2 from the left, and 1 up, like so. And then on either side here, we're going to place 1 here, and 1 missing a single block, and putting it here. And now we're going to add in just a couple more details. So one of them is the grave for Aqua the dog, who sadly passed away whilst he was showing off this minigame. So to the left here, we're going to break out these 2 blocks, put in 2 pieces of gravel and a torch in front of it, and then we're going to place a sign that's going to read RIP Aqua and then in brackets the dog. And then coming to the front of our build, on the left hand side of the archway, we're going to place a sign that reads Water Rush. And then finally, in front of our dojo where the shark falls down, we're going to place a sign here that says Fresh Sushi. And with that final sign placed, we are now done with this build. So I hope you enjoyed, and if you want to see more videos like this, then I'd really appreciate it if you left a like on the video, and you can even comment what you'd like for me to create a tutorial on next. Now, I'll see you next time. Goodbye!